Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in with V again today. We are going to be talking about a really good subject, some things that are really going to help a lot of you, and it is creating good habits. And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Please feel free to like, comment, and share this episode with anybody you know. And if you don't comment on here, please feel free to visit me on my Instagram, Vitality with V. So let's get into creating healthy habits. What does that look like, okay? So let's talk about our diet. That would be one thing. When we'll talk about the pros and cons of creating habits. So if we have a diet, a lifestyle, right? So most people are going to call it a diet. I like to call it a lifestyle because to me, a diet is something that's short term versus a lifestyle is something you do continuously for long periods of time, if not forever. That's just the way of living. And so I do lifestyle. But if you're doing your diet, your behavior, your lifestyle looks like you eating a certain way, then that's going to become domino effect of things. So how can I make you not eating Costco every time? Because how many people, we go to Costco, we go to Sam's Club, and they pretty much have the same menu. It's cheap, it's high with fats, high with refined sugars, and it clogs up a lot of things and slows process down. Not saying it's not good, had it many times, but let's just use that as a concept, right? So we're constantly eating that every time we go to Costco, let's just say every week, or we're going to Costco, Sam's Club twice a month, right? Or we got to run and get toilet paper, and then we got to go run, we forgot paper towels. So, hey, by the way, let's just get dinner because it's cheaper, it's faster. We're just going to use that analogy for a rule of thumb right now. So if we're constantly doing that, how are we going to do that? You know what? Not do it. Stop. Yes, it feels good, but what can we do in the process? Because some people don't have that self-control, right? And it's okay if you don't have it in that moment because you might be full of mucus and full of pus, and so it's really hard for you to operate and move forward. So what do we do? How do we make that diet into a lifestyle? So, okay, let's say we got a hot dog and a soda, and then we got ice cream on top of it, and we might want a slice of pizza because that wasn't enough when we didn't feel. First of all, I want you to think your stomach is as big as the palm of your hand. You can't fit a hot dog, a pizza, ice cream, and soda all in his hand. You just can't. That's really, really bad. So I'm just going to have one or the other. Let's start there. That's how we're going to start. And then we're going to say, well, you know what? I don't really crave that anymore. I don't want that. Every now and then, I might just go get an ice cream. And I'm not going to even have the hot dog and pizza. Okay? Great. And then I'm not going to even want the ice cream because it might be too cold in that season and I don't want ice cream. Not everybody likes ice cream in the cold. They only want ice cream in the hot. And that's okay. So when you start eliminating little things at a time, your body stops craving it. This is how we're going to develop these healthy habits. So it's just as much as we pay attention to what we're going to go into talking about your whole body, just as much as we pay attention to our exterior, we need to start paying attention to the inside of our bodies a lot more. So creating that habit of you buy the same toilet paper, same paper towels, the same laundry soap, you eat the same foods all the time or majority of the time, 90% of your meal is that substance. That is a habit you want to do the opposite way. So you're just going to not buy it, substitute. And you're like, oh my gosh, I've had people tell me, and a couple of friends of mine that we eat very similar, and like, well, what do you eat? You know, it's like, I'm not a skinny girl, but I do eat foods. And what does that look like? I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. And people think that fruits and vegetables mean that I'm going to be skinny. Not necessarily. I've been slowing down on the grains. And meaning I'm not even eating my quinoa or my buckwheat flour, stuff like that. So I started out, of course, with corn flour, like everybody else does. Then went to coconut flour and went to almond flour, and then those things didn't work for me. And then I went to like buckwheat flour and quinoa flour. And instead of buying quinoa flour, I made my own quinoa flour. And instead of buying buckwheat, then I started buying my own buckwheat flour. I started making my own buckwheat flour. So you start with those things to become that lifestyle you have, right? And for me, a lifestyle is everything that we're going to be talking about, not just one entity like a diet. A diet is just one entity. And when you start looking at your diet, and your diet is all these different things, like I'm eating In-N-Out once a month, or I'm eating Jack in the Box, McDonald's, whatever it is, Wendy's, whatever it is that's nearby you, in whatever state you live in, whatever country you live in, stop eating the stuff that is harming us, little by little. If you're gonna go and you normally get the upgrade, like we've talked about before, don't get the upgrade. Start there, that's okay. You know, and instead of going 5 times a week, go 3 times a week, and then go 1 time a week. And then before you know it, you're just driving right by. I mean, you're not only saving money in your pocket, but you're helping your whole and functionality. Your sleep, quality of sleep, what does that mean to you? What does your blood sugar balance mean to you? Do you want to poop every single day? I mean, I don't know a lot of people that want to be full of shit. I mean, it's like when you are, you're grumpy, you're tired, you're sluggish, you have very low energy, you can't think, you have brain fog. You have aches and pains, all due to not having a bowel movement. So what does that look like for you? Some people say, well, I poop 3 times a day. I'm good. Well, doesn't mean you poop every 3 times a day. It doesn't necessarily mean it was detoxifying your body. You were eliminating stuff out of your body, because what were you eating, right? If you're eating crap, it's gonna come out 3 forms: pee, poop, or your skin. People who have a lot of acne are pus-forming people, and it's trying to extract out of their skin. It could be skinny. You could be obese, a little overweight, a little fluffy, a little thick, however, which word you want to use. It doesn't matter. It's going to eliminate out of your body somehow. So if you have this healthy habit and you start making little healthy habits, even a healthy habit could be, like I said, instead of eating there 5 times a day, you're going to 3, 2, 1, and then before you know it, you're not at all. And then now, how do I substitute it? In that process, how am I going to substitute it? So, like for instance, I said on a previous episode with my girlfriend Jen that I had been craving some chocolate cake. And I don't know if you've been to, there's this one restaurant, I want to say it's Outback. They have like a 7-layer cake. I had it back in 2017. Why is it still in my head? I haven't had it since 2017. But I was craving chocolate cake like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So what I do, I got some cacao. I got some bananas, fresh bananas, and you could freeze your bananas if you like. That's always a win. So you'll always have bananas there when you have these cravings of any sort. And let your bananas be, if your body could sustain bananas. Not everybody can have bananas. So if your body could sustain bananas, then that'd be great. Using some, organic cacao and some bananas. And I like to make my own almond milk or my walnut milk, cashew milk, whatever it may be. I even make my own oat milk. I make it a lot differently than what people would do in the store. You want to know more about that, hit me up for a consultation and we'll chat. And I'll be happy to give you that recipe. But I'll do that. I'll make my milk and then I put it together and I blend it. Now if I want to make it more ice cream, I put less liquid into it and I make it as an ice cream. You could do various different things to subside that craving, but do it in a healthy form. Instead of saying, man, I want that chocolate shake from McDonald's. Been there, done that, and wanted to eat it with the fries. I mean, I could get real good. I know how to cook some really good food that is very unhealthy for me. But I also know how to cook some really good food that is healthy for me. And so sometimes I just opt out. Like, I won't want that pastrami, or I won't want that chili cheese fries, which is my kryptonite. I love chili cheese fries. Fries in itself is my kryptonite. So I've learned to make fries or potatoes in a more healthier form, even though it's mucus and pus forming. And it is a starch, but I'd rather have that and eat it the way I'm eating it than dumping it with oil that is going to be harder on my body. I'm just not going to do that. And putting it in a canola oil, vegetable oil, and corn oil, opt out of it if you're not doing it already, okay? So when it comes to your diet, I really want you guys to just start out slow. That's how you're going to create this healthier habit when it comes to your diet. If you're drinking a soda, drink agua fresca, make it yourself. Honey, fruit, water, that's it. You don't have to be as anal as I am, where I'm making my distilled water now, and I only buy organic fruit, and I only buy honey. Start out slow. I slowed out the transition of having refined sugar in my house. I don't remember the last time I bought refined sugar, to be honest with you. Now I buy honey by the 5 gallons. And I'm not kidding. I literally buy, I think last year I bought about 5 gallons of honey. That is a lot of honey. And I didn't consume it all. I use it also for my business. But I would say with my family, I probably used about 1.5 for the whole year, just on our own. I only consume honey. I don't have any other sugars. Once in a while, I make some like quinoa pancakes instead of having regular pancakes. So I stopped eating pancakes, for instance, then I started making regular pancakes at home. And then I went to making almond pancakes, which that didn't come out too well. I didn't really like the way the almond flour was and the coconut flour, so I kind of like opt out of that really quick. I didn't like the texture of it and the way it was, but that was just me. It's it's more healthier for you than bleached flour, but I just didn't like it. So I started using quinoa. And then, so I make these quinoa banana pancakes. Absolutely love it. And, before eat it, flood it with fruit, or syrup. And then I started doing more organic syrup. And now I don't even use syrup. Now I just make my own strawberry, or fruit chutney. Or if anything, I buy this one particular jar. It's just fruit and pectin, and it comes from France. And I pay a dollar amount for a jar about this size. And so, but I don't eat it all the time. I don't eat it every day. I don't even eat it once a week. So those are the things that we need to look at when it comes to our diet. How often are you doing it? Are you being hydrated enough? If you're not, like, I don't drink water. I only drink coffee. I knew a woman before she died, she only consumed coffee. I never saw her the whole time that I lived in her home drink water. I was like, wow. But I will tell you this, she had horrible skin. She had a wonderful personality, but she had horrible skin. And I was like, I don't want that. When I become that age, I don't want horrible skin. I want to feel vibrant. I don't want to have to wear makeup. I don't want to mask things. I don't want that. If that's what you want, then this is not a video for you. But if you're in that same boat and you're in that transition, you're like, I want more, listen to the things that I'm trying to share with you and just start doing baby steps to get to that point, okay? So when it comes to your diet, just do baby steps and find out what works for you. And if you don't, like I said, hit me up. Another way is hydration. Like I was talking about with water. If you I don't drink water. I don't like water. I don't like the taste of water. At first, I remember when I first heard this, I was like, how do you not like the taste of water? I think water is refreshing. Even when I really didn't drink water as much as I do now. But they didn't like it. So I'm like, okay, well, let's throw some fruit in it. Frozen fruit, if you like it cold. Now, most people are like, I like cold water. Well, what they're not realizing is cold water is actually really bad for you. When you're consuming cold water, you're immediately making your organs cold. It's like putting yourself in an ice bath, right? It will be great for your muscles. It's great for tension, aches, and pains. That's why I just put an ice pack or a cold compress, not applying it on the inside. The inside of your body needs to stay at a 98-degree temperature so your organs and things can start operating and functioning properly. If you're in an ice bath, you're like, oh, well, trainers do that, and that dude is this big, and he's fit, and he's good. That's his life, not yours. You cannot compare yourself to somebody else. You should not compare yourself to somebody else. You should be taking your path. This is your path on your own. I recommend completely that people listen and be in tune with their own body. So if it's hydration, let's talk about, I've had people tell me, I'm only going to drink those waters from Walmart. Well, what is the sugar that's in it? The history behind that sugar is it gives you holes in your brain. It's giving you aneurysms. It will give you Alzheimer's. It will give you dementia. It will give you diabetes, believe it or not. It will give you all these things, Parkinson's. It hurts the nervous system. It has done, if you Google that word, and I'm not going to say the word, just go to you'll see it. It's in a lot of sugar-free products. And Google it, and then there's an article. If you want to know more about it, hit me up on my Instagram and I will share that article with you. And that article will state that back in the 1970s, early 70s, they literally did a test with this sugar, and it was an accident how they came up with the sugar. The man who invented the sugar, it was an accident. It's in a lot of sugar-free products today. And when he invented that sugar, it was paid off by the FDA for them to say, yeah, it's okay. You can go ahead and label it out there that it was for sugar-free. And they did. And the science behind it, they tested it on lab rats and monkeys, and they killed most of the lab rats. And the monkeys, some of them died out of the monkeys that they had, and a majority of them ended up with holes in their brains. You want to sign up? Go drink that stuff. Go eat that stuff. I refuse not to. When I learned about it, I stopped. That was enough for me to say, I'm out. Just like chewing gum. I don't chew gum anymore. I used to be in the hazardous waste industry. And one day I was just so bored. It was really, really low at work. And so I'm like, what am I gonna do? I had this big book about this big on the side of my desk that we would use to profile the waste. So I got my gum pack and I turned it upside down and started Googling, or I'm not Googling, but researching all the ingredients in there in this book of waste items. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you're kidding me. Now, not every gum has it, but majority of it does. And I've gotten a variety of different packets. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this has the same equivalent of the brake fluid we just profiled? Like, wow. Now, it was hard for me to stop chewing gum because it was a habit, like we're talking about here, developing habit. So I stopped buying it. Every now and then I might have a piece. But then now I don't even recall the last time I chewed gum. Like, I really don't. But how do we make that better? If I'm a gum chewer, like I did. I was a smoker for over 20 years. So, you know, people said, well, chew gum because gum was better. Bite your nails. I mean, I could, at that time, bite my nails, smoke a cigarette, and chew gum all at the same time. How was I fixing my problem? That wasn't helping me. So what I started doing was praying more. Like I've said before in a previous episode, I just prayed and I just stopped. And I would pop seeds. I did that. I did the whole seed thing. But eating too much seeds can be really hard on your upper intestines. Okay, too much seeds can be hard on your liver, could be eventually too hard on your gallbladder, and you could have gallstones. Having too many sunflower seeds, too many fats that are in the seeds. We're not learning that when we're buying a bag of seeds and we're over there at the ballpark or at a game or wherever, or trying to stay away from having a cigarette in our mouth or that substance, and we're just substituting it with something else. That's not the way I'm telling you to go. What I'm saying is, if you're in that position like I was, one thing that I did was I started praying was one thing that I did. And then after I was done praying, or I needed to continue to do something, I was breathing, walking, occupying myself with that. Stop trying to bite my nails, stop trying to do other things, and just slow process. Slow. And before you know it, you're not doing it anymore. You're not buying it. You're not having that habit. You're developing a good habit when it comes to it. So slow it down, people. Back it up. And let's go to our next point was cleaning your home. Okay. Cleaning your home, most people they say, well, I'm clean. Well, one of my other businesses is we clean homes. And I clean homes for elderly. I have a team, and I love doing what I do. I absolutely love it. It's part of vitality. It's part of the wellness. And you get to learn from these people. I love learning from my elders. They've been around for a lot longer than I have, and there's always something to learn. It's just not that they're old or they're of age. They have been around a lot longer, and the Bible tells us our elders should teach us. Elder women should teach younger women. Older men should teach younger men. So we learn how to be women and men of God, right? So I love doing this. And when you have a clean environment, clean car, clean bedroom, if you're only subjected to a bedroom, a clean house, you feel good. You're boosting those endorphins and all this. But if you live in a hot mess, there's something wrong psychologically, right? There's a trauma more than likely that helped you get to the point you're at. why you gravitate to the foods you're eating, why you function the way you do, and what is that foundation? What is the root cause of that problem? That's where I come in to find it out. I'm not the therapist. I might say, hey, you need some therapy. If I can't speak into the knowledge of understanding where you've been. I've been down a lot of routes, but doesn't mean I might necessarily understand that. And where I can't support you to optimize that and not empathize with the fact that why you're gravitating to that type of food or that type of direction. So if your house is clean, if the things you're around is clean, and baby steps, well, this is too much for me. I can't do it. I feel overwhelmed. Then just start picking up that one thing and putting it where it's supposed to be, finding a home for it, right? If everything around you is chaos, guess what? This is chaos. Try it. Because I can tell you, if I look at somebody's home, I can open a cupboard and see what's in there. It tells me what their diet's like. I used to do Instacart. I loved it. I love grocery shopping. This is, like I said before, I was on a previous episode, I did Instacart before Instacart what it is now. It was about quite a few years ago, more than probably 8 years ago, probably about 8 years ago. And I loved it. But I can tell by the family or the person that I was shopping for what their life was. I could tell you if they were single, if they were elderly, if they had a family. I could tell you their ethnicity just based off of what they ate. And I would go knock at the door and I'd be like, man, I was right. I was like, this is interesting. But it was like, you could see if they had a lot of children. You could see if they had more than one children. And then I think there was only maybe less than a handful that I was incorrect. But I was really tripping out with the fact that how you can see someone's life by what they eat, how they live. And if you come to my home isn't dirty at all. Everything has its place. My children know that I will go through their room and I teach them to function this way. It's not about being commander, chief, and going in there, ripping them my way, no way. It's me teaching them good, healthy habits. Why? Because one day they're going to grow up and they're not going to be with me and they need to know how to do this on their own. I am not going to be around forever to navigate this ship that they're supposed to be on their own as grown men and women in this world. So I need to teach them this. So having a clean home, clean environment, being clean makes a big difference. When you feel good about who you are, I don't know about you guys, but I know that if I eat something and my mouth feels, it feels really nasty and I don't feel good. Like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just feel like, standoffish. So, but when I feel good and my teeth are good, I want to smile, I want to feel good. And that's when you have good hygiene and you have a good diet, you want to talk about it, you have good energy, you're more appealing to others, and it's not about being a people pleaser, but it's like, man, you have good energy, right? And people want to be around you. So this all plays a factor in having these good habits. If not, you want to be in your own little circle by yourself, by all means, that's cool. Like I said, this video is probably not for you. Another thing we're going to talk about is your money, right? So building healthy habits and money. And I could probably go into a video with each one of these bullet points, but the fact of the matter is, we're not. And if you want to get into, deeper conversations with me, feel free to DM me and hit me up or email me, because I don't mind talking about this. But when it comes down to your money, we talked about this on other videos of how much you've been paying for something, the habits in that area, like the coffee, the lunch, and all this stuff, and dinners, eating out, what that looks like. You're building this habit. Do you want a habit where you could have a reserve amount of money for anything that you want to do? You want to go out to the fair, you want to go see a movie, you want to go do this, you want to go that, you want to buy a gift for your spouse or your child or whomever. You have the ways and means to be able to do it. You won't if you're building this habit of constantly going out every weekend, or you're having to borrow money, or something gets taken away from you and you need to replace it, and so you're having to call somebody and say, hey, can I borrow X amount of money? Because you did not reserve and build a healthy habit for yourself. Now, I understand, as a single mom previously before, for a plethora of years, totally understand living paycheck to paycheck, dollar by dollar, even cent by cent. Is it still possible? Absolutely. What I've learned now, or what I've learned then to what I learn now and how I can navigate it to now, I will say this. Is there times where you have recycled containers? Absolutely. Majority of people have recycled containers, or they come across recycled containers. Nothing wrong with that. I've done it. I have even, no joke, pulled over on the side of the road, asked my oldest son and my daughter, be like, hey, get that, that's 10 cents. Because back in the day, you were able to put a certain size container in the machine and it gave you 10 cents and the other ones gave you 5 cents. And now they just do it by the pound. But it wasn't that long ago, I told my 15-year-old, hey, you can go and pick up recycles. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, well, you can't say there's no ways and means to getting what it is that you need. So if you're a single mother, single father, there's always that. There's always getting an extra side hustle, legit, being good about yourself about it. And if not, that's okay. I'm not condemning or, judging anybody by that. But you saving that money or investing your money and building these natural, healthy habits, so this way it doesn't come back to you and bite you in the butt. If you want to be able to put a down payment on a home or have good credit, that is like ideal. And you can say, well, I don't know. I've been in predicaments several times as a single mother where I needed a job and I needed childcare, but I can't have a job without childcare. And I can't have childcare without a job because they won't pay for the childcare if I don't have a job. We all been through positions, but if we take back, and like I've said before in previous video, breathe. Just breathe. And we build these healthy habits of diet, lifestyle, hydration. If we're hydrated, we're gonna think more clearly, and then we're gonna be able to save our money the way it needs to be saved. Not spending out in different places starting from your diet, right? So if you're not eating out 5 days a week, when now it's only 3 days a week, guess what? You have those 2 days a week, you can put to your savings, right? That's what's gonna allow you to save your money. So I put here that what you apply your money to is what you are okay with. Let that resonate for a second. What you apply your money to is what you are okay with. If you're putting your money on that G-string, you're okay with that. There's no judgment here in my conversation. That's what you're okay with. If you're putting the money in McDonald's, that's what you're okay with. If you're okay with putting your money in sodas, or anything else, that's what you're okay with. That's your thing. But no, for every action, there's a reaction, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna come at you right now, but eventually what goes up will come down. What goes around will come back to you. So just keep that in mind. What it is you're applying your money to, you're okay with. And meaning if you are eating various different locations, you're okay with that. When are you going to say stop? Because you need to, it's just like when I was talking about on a previous episode about effing cancer. It's not the cancer. It's not about these locations of restaurants, right? Of fast food chains. It's not about them. You're the one who says yes to drive through it or walk through it or allow it. If you're okay with it, that's where you're going to spend your money at. You're going to do it. You're going to go to those coffee locations every day. If you want to spend $1,200 a year on coffee, $2,500 a year on coffee and lunch so many times a week, that's okay. Don't say why your car can't be fixed or why you don't have this or you don't have that, because you're the one who made that healthy habit. Whatever that looks like for you, you're the one who did it, right? So when you are stressed out all the time and you have no cash, then you're really wondering like, wow, what am I doing wrong? You're not slowing down. You're not taking a full look at what it is that you really want. Maybe you don't have a why. Maybe you don't have a full understanding. Maybe you don't have someone who's going to support you. This is where you can email me and I could help you with that. Because you're just tired of being unhealthy all the time. Stop, slow down. I literally had a conversation with one of my customers yesterday, and we were texting back and forth. He'd made a comment about something he posted on Instagram. I replied to it. I said, amigo, I'll help you. It's doable. It really is doable. And he's like, oh, this and this, that, whatever reply he gave back to me. I was like, let me know when you're serious. He's like, I really need to get my life in order. Let me know when you're serious, because I only want to help those who really want to help themselves. I don't have time to waste time. I'm too young to waste time. I'm too old to continuously play the same games over and over again. I want to live the rest of my life, and I don't know about you. Maybe you need to ask yourself this. Do you want to live the rest of your life with joy, love, and enjoyment? Or do you want to live it in catastrophe and hardships and agony and always stressed out? I don't. I don't mind dying, because I know what's going to happen to me when I die. I hope that what's going to happen to me when I die. But in this process, I'm going to live my life well, to my full best self. So I am not going to, in order for me to do that, my finances have to be in order. I just got an email this morning. It was so great. I get a notification saying, great job, from Experian, telling me that my credit score is going up again. I love it. That boosts my endorphins. It helps me function. I'm like, yeah, because I compete with myself. Do you compete with yourself? And if you have a nice, healthy competition with somebody saying, hey, I need help, do it with me, that's okay. Do it with your spouse. Do it with your friend, your whomever, your child that may need it. Just do it. Start doing little baby steps. It's okay. Even if it's $1 when it comes to money. My son had this commanding officer when he was in the military. And I took on this, this habit. I was already saving money, and I thought it was a great idea. And I said, I like that one. So what he did, he suggested to my son, and my son was calling me every day at that time. I loved it. I miss it. And he said, you know, Mom, my commanding officer, he said this. He said, every time he breaks a $20 bill, okay, if you carry cash or not, maybe you could start this habit by carrying a little bit of cash. So he said, every time I broke a $20 bill, I took all the ones and I put the ones in a jar, put that away. So I did this for years, and I loved it. And the outcome of it was that I would stack it and clip it with, or rubber band it with tens, a bunch of ones with tens. And I was like, oh, before you know it, I had all these stacks. And I was like, wow, when the kids want to go to the movies, my 2 younger children never knew this. Every time, Mom always had money, we went to movies. Yeah, because I saved all my ones. Instead of wasting all my money that was in my wallet, I did that. I put my change away, and I would put my change and then put my stuff in the foils and take that to the bank. And then I had my ones, and I'd put it in a jar. And then I would, before you know, I was like, wow, I have a lot of ones. And my recycled money, I did the same thing. So I started challenging myself with that. After that, I started putting that away. And before you know it, I had $30, $40, $50, $60. And my children and I had a good time on an extracurricular activity, a little small event that made a big difference for someone who was a single mother. There's a really good healthy tip right there. And that was just in us bonding. Now I'm going to say we had popcorn and soda and candy, that what I wouldn't suggest today. But if you're doing that, like when I go to movies, I sneak in my own popcorn. I make a certain popcorn. You can see it on my Instagram. I make only that. I only buy it from one source. So it's non-GMO popcorn. It's not coated with plastic or anything like that. I pop it. I put my own seasoning on it. I put a bag. I have my own, believe it or not, I have my own movie bag. And then I bring my own drink with me. I usually bring a tea, or if I feel like cheating and I do have soda from time to time, I'll fill it up with some soda. Other than that, you know, I'll bring in some fruit snacks, and that will be my sugar as supplement for my candy. So I just gave you guys a really nice little insight there. And that was the thing that I did with my kids. So I'm always having that money. So you could start there and develop that. When I was doing Lyft, I would share with the students and we'd be talking to their next destination. I love interacting with people. And they're like, man, I just thought I was going to get a Lyft. I didn't think I was going to get a financial one-on-one. He's like, I didn't even learn this in college. I didn't learn this at home. I didn't learn this in high school. They didn't teach us this, how to save money. And just, you know, so we could have something for a rainy day. I was a financial agent at one point in time in my life. And this was before our recession back in 2007. And it was taught, do you have 3 to 6 months at bare minimum of savings if something were to happen? I do. Do you? If not, let me share let me hook you up with somebody. If I can't teach you these little techniques, let me hook you up with somebody that can teach you those things. Because it's so important that we learn how to have these healthy habits, especially with our money, because then we start stressing about why it is that we don't have this money and why we're not able to do what we're doing. I know what that's like. I was a single mom for most of my life. We can't always have the ways and means to do this. So slow it down, breathe. So this way you could develop healthier habits, because when you're stressed out about money, you're going to be stressed out about how you eat. You're going to gravitate towards other things. Your functionality, your whole body is not going to be right. You're going to be like, I don't want God. F God. He's not helping me. And that's not it at all. You didn't stop to slow down, to back it up, to build some healthy habits that you were in control for. So disciplining yourself with a healthy routine for yourself and your children. If there's any children at all, build that, because you need to have that healthy routine for you and your family. Kids need routine, people. If you have children, they need a routine. Your children need discipline. We all desire a form of discipline, and people go, I don't need to be, you do. It's part of your natural mechanism, whether you want to believe it or not. Discipline yourself just to do small little things like I've been saying, and it's okay. And if you have children, that's even more of an effort for you to want to do it. If you have someone you care for, it should be a reason why. A conversation I have with my husband, no, it's not here on my notes, but I'm going to share this because it just brought up a thought, was I tell him, like, if you're going to do that, like when we got together, I didn't sign up to be his nurse, okay? I didn't sign up to be his nurse. I didn't sign up to be his mom. I just signed up to be his partner, to be his partner, as like we say in the worldly lingo, the partner in crime, right? Whatever that looks like. But to be his partner, to be there, to love him, support him, empower him, encourage him, do life together, not me take care of him. If it comes to that point in our old age and I am physically able to do so because he's just old, we help each other up, like those Instagram little reels that we see, that's adorable. But I don't want to be his nurse. So if you're going to eat that orange at night and you have high blood sugar, don't be eating that orange at night when I told you over and over again not to eat that orange at night. I've told him, I'm not going to sign up to be your, excuse me, I just dropped this. I'm not going to sign up to be your nurse. I really want you to take care of yourself. So if that can be your reason to slow down and back it up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not doing all the things I need to do to take care of me, because that spouse can pass away. Your partner can pass away, and you have to take care of yourself. Are you able and financially, spiritually, psychologically able to take care of yourself? If you're not, you need to outsource that. Don't leave it on your spouse to take care of it for you. That's a lot of weight on them. They didn't live life to take care of you in that form. Why are you putting that burden on them? And I'm not saying that's what my husband's doing. I just want to make that clear. I was saying, like, we were having a little side conversation about blood sugar and an orange. And I was like, if your sugar level goes up and down, then when you turn 60, 70, I don't want to be the one to take care of you like that. I'm learning to live my life now. And I didn't sign up for this. Not saying I'm going to opt out. And it wasn't a threat or giving them an ultimatum or anything like that. I was just trying to bring awareness. And he was like, very well noted. Don't worry, that's not going to happen. A couple is not supposed to complete each other. A couple, a partnership, a marriage is supposed to complement each other. You walk hand in hand. God sees you as one. You're both seeking God to come vertically together. Why be off balance? And that comes with their health. If this one's not saving money and spending money, and they're not on the same page, why are you over here? That's why God talks about being equally yoked. Together, we're both doing the same thing, but coming together. Seeking God, coming together. So it's the same thing with diet. He can't be going eating, or her going to eat, one can't be eating the average American diet and the other person eating healthy. It's not. Like, my husband's seen, like, his diet has significantly changed. When he met me, he had high blood pressure, high blood pressure and diabetes. On medications, now on 0 medications, and has a neither or. I love it. We're working on other things. You look at both of us, we look like we both gotten younger, even though we have a little bit more gray hair than we first started. Because in all honesty, we were both dyeing our hair when we first got together. One day you'll see him on an episode with me. And we'll be talking about some good, healthy stuff, maybe relationships, because valuing your spouse and valuing yourself starts with you valuing yourself to be able to value your spouse. So in that, I want to just end this conversation with, at the end of the day, these things that we don't take care of start creating major challenges for us. What does that look like for you? What do you want it to look like? Let's answer that question. What do you want that to look like for you? Because if we don't create these healthy habits, if we don't start looking in the mirror and seeing what is going on right now, we don't have to change it all at one shot. Baby steps. Don't leave your issues and challenges of things that you, in chaos that you created, to pawn it off to somebody else to take care of your children, your spouse, your partner. Not even putting it in the hands of the medical field, because in my opinion, I don't believe that they're going to be taking your best interests at heart. You have to, at the end of the day, love yourself enough to create these healthy habits. That is it for today. Thank you for tuning in with V. And please feel free to like, comment, and share. And if not, please see me on Vitality with V on my Instagram.